What is up, people of Minnesota and people of Minneapolis? Welcome to the People's Pitch. I am Nate. I'm here, as always, with John.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending upon when you're listening to this.
We are, of course, Minneapolis' premier podcast about Minneapolis City SC being Minneapolis' premier semi-pro soccer club. As always, the People's Pitch is brought to you by Summit, the official craft beer sponsor of our podcast. Let's give them some love. Summit just released their newest member of the Unchained 21 series. We talked about it a little bit last week. John, did you get a chance to try it?
I did.
Us and Them is what it's called, and it sounds delicious.
It's not just a Pink Floyd lyric.
No,
it also is a tasty beverage.
So they broke down Saga IPA into two distinct threads, kind of two versions of Saga IPA.
Correct.
And maybe they split it in 3 and 3 in a 6-pack, so you get to try them both. That is awesome. I like the sound of that. For more information, check out summitbrewing.com for all the details that I'm sure we missed, as well as information on tours and upcoming events, much more. What's going down, John? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Next question.
All right.
Let's get into it.
Long weekend.
No, I'm good. I played a lot of FIFA this weekend. I had some friends from Milwaukee.
That's right. It was your bro time weekend.
It was Palentine's Day weekend.
Palentine's Day.
No, I just played a lot of FIFA and drank tons of beer and still feeling a little rough today. But I will forage on, and I'll give you my all in this podcast.
Well, you look great.
Thank you. Well, I don't feel great, but appreciate it.
You're a true professional. Well, coming up today, we got some good stuff. Player signing news, of course. We've been promising it for a couple of weeks, so we are going to get to know all the new guys that we have on the roster, as well as a recap of the second scrimmage with MTA on Sunday, right?
Correct. I was able to head to the scrimmage this weekend, and we'll provide a little bit of feedback on that and maybe get some dynamite words, written words. We didn't get an interview, though, with associate head coach Jeremy Ivaskovic and his take on what he saw. Yeah,
we'll get to some user email. But first, in case you missed it, last week we announced here on this here podcast that Minneapolis City has a stadium deal. We'll be playing at Minneapolis South's Les Barnard Field, a.k.a. the Barnyard.
See, I like the Barnyard. If you say Bernard fast enough, Barnyard just organically rolls off the tongue.
Yep.
But what about maybe calling it the Nard?
Well, let's see how the season goes, right? If it's like an unforgiving field with me end up with a poor home record, I think we got to go negative with it.
Opponents come in and get kicked in the Nard.
I like the Barnyard to start. But really, it's super exciting. It's a great location right down there on Cedar and Lake. You know, we've got a great opportunity to make it our own, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been great to work with. Because Minneapolis City is a nonprofit, we have some advantages that were afforded more than other teams in the league. So they were really great to work with. We had tried a few other locations, but they just didn't pan out, which is fine. And, we'll continue to explore options, but we may find out that we like the Barnyard and we don't want to leave.
If I'm reading between the lines here, it sounds like Minneapolis South is more willing to let us be us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They control their space, whereas a few of the other locations we looked at, they maybe had partners that were in play and they had to get more approvals to do things. We still went through the proper channels, and with our ability to showcase, knock on wood, responsibility at our events that we do with Stegman's and Blaine, they were more than willing to give us the old college try.
That's cool.
See if we can make this happen without any incident.
Oh yeah. So when we get the first look at this field? We've got the May 28th home opener, but will there be any practices or scrimmages scheduled there beforehand?
Probably not. Our scrimmage calendar really consists of the scrimmages that we've been having with Minnesota Thunder Academy. We're going to be going down to Shattuck St. Mary's, and I believe we're working on that. That's our next goal, to get a friendly or two in. And then we travel on the 14th of May to Des Moines to play the Des Moines Menace.
Des Moines.
And Des Moines Menace is the team that knocked off your very own Minnesota United last year in the Open Cup. They are good. And we're going to do 3 30-minute periods instead of 2 45, so we can kind of rotate in and out. So it's going to be very much so a closed door training match. So a lot of maybe some situational scenario stuff that we'll do. That's being kind of ironed out with the coaching staff and the people above me. But it's going to be a chance for us to test ourselves with majority of our guys back. There's a few we'll miss because they're not going to be back until late. But it'll be our first true test before we lead into the 21st and take on the Barbarians in Milwaukee.
So maybe a little less of a talent showcase as much as it's going to be a fine tuning of the roster.
Yeah, sharpening of the skills and the formation, tactics, things like that.
Okay.
And really a higher level professional franchise and organization that we'll be playing against. So it'll be a good experience for all of our players, and who knows, maybe we'll nip some goals off them.
Sounds menacing.
It does. I like it. Should we cover a quick user email?
We got emails.
So we pride ourselves in being the people's podcast. It's in our name.
Mm-hmm.
It's not our podcast; it's yours. But we don't get a whole lot of email, and we always joke it's because of the fact that we get it wrong. I would like to get it right. So our email address is mcscpodcast@gmail.com. mcscpodcast@gmail.com. Please email us because the emails that you have and the topics that you'd like to discuss will help shape what we talk about in the future.
Well, you did get one.
I did get one, and that was from a Mr. Daniel Warner. And his question was, what's my favorite dinosaur? And Daniel, my favorite dinosaur is the one that killed Newman in Jurassic Park. I have no idea what it's called. I'm sure on Twitter someone will inform us because they do. But that's the one. That's the one I like. How about you?
Mine's Wayne Rooney. Zing!
No, you didn't say your favorite bridge troll. You said your favorite dinosaur.
No, my favorite dinosaur.
That would
I don't
be Arsene
know.
Wenger is your favorite dinosaur.
Stegosaurus. Classic, underrated, I think.
I mean, yeah, it's fun to say. Mm-hmm. So anyways, thank you, Daniel. Everyone else, please hit us up on our email address. Why don't you drop it one more time for us?
Okay. mcscpodcast@gmail.com. mcscpodcast. No space @gmail.com.
Correct.
Yeah, shoot us your questions. We're especially after today when we're going to be talking about some players. People out there are sure to have a few details that we may have missed that they want to know about. So let's. We were talking about practices and scrimmages at the new field, but we have been holding them at MTA's home territory over there at the Star Dome. And you went to one on Sunday?
Yes, correct. It was a little bit different of a squad that played against us the first time, as well as the squad that we brought out to play against them. So it ended up being a 1-1 draw. We had one goal called back. Terrible officiating.
Wasn't
I joke,
our guy that...
I joke about that. Our technical director, Al Merrick, was manning the middle of the field. It was great. He just marauding back and forth with a brisk walk and a slight limp, a British accent, and just telling gentlemen to calm down and compose themselves after strong tackles.
Be respectful, lads.
Yeah, I mean, he said it very respectfully, but he meant it.
Yeah,
there was an anger in that tone.
Oh, really?
But Alan did a great job. That he actually didn't call the offsides. The other team just kind of complained, and then we just let him have a free kick. So one of the trialists didn't get his name. New guy to the mix. He ended up scoring the goal. He got called back. I think the bright spots really were, number one, the goalkeeping work of goalkeeper Matt Elder, who comes to us by way of UW Superior.
Okay.
And Matt had a pretty bad leg injury, and now he's finally coming back from it. And you can tell, he's getting back into shape, but it's tough when you have a leg injury and you can't really exercise as much. So.
Yeah,
he put on some injury pounds, which he's been even since the first time I've seen him out. He's quickly shedding those off. He's getting quicker, but he made some incredible saves and kept us in it. As MTA, even though they had their same possession style that you saw, going backwards and sideways, but they were attacking a little bit more. And because we had more of a patchwork team together, it was a lot of communication issues, and they were actually exploiting that, which was good because we were able to see. A team kind of attack a weakness and how we adapted. So we played a very attacking style, and we had a goal by trialist Emmanuel Grant. It was an incredible goal. So He made a quick 5-yard pass that ended up getting switched to the other side of the field, and then he just took off. And this guy, like with sprinter speed, just ran about 60 yards past the forward, past the right outside mid, past the right outside back as the ball went over his head, and just had a touch and turn and put it in the upper corner, and the goalie really had no chance with it. So
that sounds pretty amazing.
It was pretty nice. And Emmanuel, if you're listening, it was a great finish and a great run. Maybe a little more work on the defensive end of the pitch, but that's just me being honest. But great tidy finish, my man. That was great. And then we kind of talked with associate head coach Jeremy Ivaskovich about kind of what his overall takeaways were, and by and large, we had a small number of trialists, but he wanted to point out the fact that we had about 9 guys that were new to the trial period from Anoka Ramsey Community College, and some bright spots in there. But it was a little bit difficult because we were, slightly different guys, makeshift group, communication's a problem, and that's why I was saying that MTA kind of really attacked that.
Is that the case of word getting around, and maybe one guy that plays with Anoka Ramsey heard that we're doing this and he invited his buds, or what's
it's a little bit more of a formal process, but
okay.
But yeah, it was more so, I think it came through Alan.
Okay.
From a technical director standpoint,
mm-hmm.
where their staff contacted him and we made it work. And it was great to see some new guys out there and see how they might fit in. Did I see a lot of guys that are going to take over starting 11 spots? Maybe not, probably not. But I saw a lot of guys that had very, very much so squad potential that could come in and be a role player, or a bright spot later on down the road. You never know. That's why you bring them in for the trials. But yeah, all the guys did well. Like I said, one of the trialists scoring, the goalie got called back. But as far as the guys that were already in the mix, I asked Jeremy kind of what he thought his bright spot was, and I completely agree with him. If you're listening, Jeremy, I'm on the same page with you that Chris Riera, who plays a holding center midfield spot, and I believe, Nate, when you came to watch the last game, he played on the right wing in the beginning of the game, and then he moved into the midfield.
Yeah, okay.
But Chris is a high school player. I think he's recently just fresh 18, and he's looking more comfortable in that holding defensive role. He reads the game. He's not afraid of contact. He gets pretty stuck in, and I think Jeremy was 100% right with him being the bright spot. And he also mentioned that he's got room for growth, but the trajectory that he's on, the coaching staff really thinks that it's on the way to the top. So
where's he playing right now?
He's in high school, so he's. I don't actually know where he plays, but I don't know where he's going. I don't know what his deal is, but
know where he's been.
I know where he's going to be this summer.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yep,
cool. And you got a chance to check out Duncan, right? The starting goalie, the upcoming starting goalie for City.
I don't know if we can give him the starting nod yet. He's gonna have to earn it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was our first opportunity to see Duncan, and Duncan is a beast of an 18-year-old. He's a big dude, and he. I thought it was the first time I got a chance to see him play. I wish I could have got a chance to talk to him, but I kind of had a bolt afterwards. But he played really well. He's an impressive goalkeeper. Size, speed off his line. He's got decent feet for being a big man. He stayed very connected with his back line, and that's something that the coaching staff pointed out that on several occasions, if he had any hesitation in coming off of his line, it would have resulted in us having an opportunity maybe to score. So he did a great job, and very vocal, which is something that at a younger age you kind of have to learn that. Maybe you're more of a shot stopper than you are a dictator of what's happening in front of you.
Yeah,
and he's very vocal, and that's something that you're going to need, and he's going to need when he goes to the next level.
It's something that maybe casual fans of soccer don't realize is the role of the goalie in directing the flow of the game. They're the guys that are telling when to make the switch, telling the back line to look left, up, look right, who to pick up. Yeah,
when to step, when to drop in. Yeah, and he's probably been playing with those kids for years, right? Yep. Probably since
the MTA kids,
13, 14, give or take, and now maybe 4 or 5 years of playing with them. So they definitely had a very good connection. But we're excited about what we saw from Duncan. Anytime you can see an 18-year-old grab the ball and palm it while he's barking instructions at the outside wingers to get up the field so he can throw it 70 yards.
It's gigantic.
Yeah. Or punt the ball the length of the field and have the other goalkeeper try to make a save off of it.
Oh, man.
It's exciting. So it was good to see Duncan, and I know like Jeremy in particular was very excited. He and I were watching next to him. We're like, God, that guy looks like Hulk. And Hulk smash. When Hulk get mad, watch out.
We got to think of a new nickname. We got to think of a nickname for him, though. We can't use Hulk.
We can work on it.
All right.
Yep.
So that's kind of a good opportunity to move into talking about our player signings because Duncan was first on our list. What I want to kind of talk about really with him real quick to cover is that right now he's going to Blake. So you said he's still 18.
Still 18.
He's going to graduate here in a couple months.
Yep.
And he's UCLA bound.
Yeah, well, first I'd like to maybe take one step back. So he's the reason why he's not able to play with us now is because he's got his development academy contract and agreement with MTA. So that's why we had to play against him. For those of you out there who don't quite get how that works, he's committed to them until I think until the end of the school year. So then he's able to kind of hop over and play with us once that commitment goes. So yes, so we were saying he's UCLA bound and all the skills that we were just talking about that. Coach Eva Skovish had mentioned they're true. When you're going to a class or you're joining a recruiting class that's perennially, at least in the recent years, top 5, you need to have those skills in order to even make the front page. You know?
Yeah.
And he's got it. And we'll have to see him play more so in a game against more adult grown men than 18-year-olds and the trialists that we had out. But this guy's got what it takes.
So you've mentioned it before that we don't really have D1 soccer up here.
No,
in
we
Minnesota.
We don't have for men's. We have no paid soccer scholarships at any level, but we have 0 Division I.
Right. So talk to me a little bit, or talk to the listeners a little bit about where UCLA falls in the D1 soccer picture because. We don't get to see a lot of D1 soccer. We don't get to follow a lot of D1 soccer unless you go out of your way.
Right, exactly.
You might know Stanford because of Jordan Morris.
Right, or you might know, like for instance, I know a lot of guys throughout the Wisconsin systems because I have a connection to it. Or I'll follow my alumni, or someone else will follow their alumni. But as far as UCLA is concerned, the recruiting power of Los Angeles doesn't hurt.
Right,
and especially for kids that are from this neck of the woods. Going out to Los Angeles from cold Minneapolis in the winter would be great. But as far as their actual program, I know they were on. They obviously play in a tough conference with some quality players and quality teams. But over the last 3-4 years, maybe 5 years, their recruiting process and their recruiting the recruits have been within top 5 classes every year. So they're bringing in. Most likely the cream of the crop, or the second tier of the cream of the crop every single year.
Cool. One more thing. Oh, go ahead.
And like for Duncan's case, I believe he was a 3-star. So the 5-star and 4-star recruits, they don't handle a whole lot of 4-stars. You kind of go 5 or 3, and he was a 3-star goalie, and he's got all the tools to be able to be a starting goalkeeper. Maybe not his first year, but to adapt to the college game and the rigorous schedule between that and school. He's going to learn that, but he has what it takes to be, maybe in year 2 or 3 to compete for the spot.
So when we're talking about local talent, the exciting thing about Minneapolis City as a showcase for local talent, this is really what we mean. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's going to go to this D1 school with a top program. And, we can get in on the ground floor as a fan of this young man who has pro potential.
Right.
That's just something that's super exciting. And that goes for a number of these guys, especially some of the signings that we'll get to later. But speaking of D1 guys.
Right. I just want to add something quick.
Oh, sure.
Before we get in too far, and I kind of forgot to mention this earlier, I shouldn't have forgot to mention it. I want to definitely talk about the recruiting power that our staff has done. Like when we looked at this, there was no way that I would have thought, not underestimating the power of the technical direction and the coaching staff that we have. I'm just not familiar with any of these players before they came into the mix, and like you in particular as well. Like
nope.
we don't like. I would have had no idea who Duncan was unless I saw him play.
Yep.
Or I heard the name and someone told me about him. So definitely props to Coach Kicker and Coach Eva Skovish and and the stuff that Alan's doing from a technical director standpoint. They're bringing in these guys that I mean, the collection of talent that we have is incredible from these Division I players that are coming back that all had the opportunity probably to go off and play somewhere else.
Yeah.
In maybe even at a higher level, but they want to come back. So hats off to those guys. And I also want to mention too that we only have a few signings. We haven't picked the team yet because we have a few trials that are coming up. We'll have a college-only trial. We have an open combine for anyone who want to sign up, which actually was very popular. So the guys that we're going through today are really only the 9 players that we definitely have signed who are going to be in the mix for our starting 11. Because if you think about it, you're going to want to have 11 to 12 players who are your backbone.
Yep.
And then you're going to fill it in with the squad. So wanted to get that out there before, but segueing into Duncan was pretty easy from talking about the training match. So, but anyways, you were saying that you're talking about the local flavor before I cut you off.
Yeah, just that, like I said, we don't get a lot of D1 action here, and so it's nice to. I just kind of wanted to give people a feel for where UCLA falls in there, and then where Northwestern does, home of the next guy on our list, Sam Forsgren.
Yeah, Sam Forsgren. He's one of a kind. He fits in at Northwestern, like you were saying. Northwestern is more of maybe the top of the middle of the packet in the Big Ten, but they've been like UCLA, totally on the up and up as far as what they've done with their recruiting. But Sam's a St. Paul Academy product. He was all Big Ten freshman, which is incredible. That was 2 years ago, and he's an attacking midfielder / forward, and this guy's got the vision that. He'll make the pass, but he's also able to tuck away his chances, and that's something that you want out of anyone who plays in an attacking position. But he also has some grit. You don't want to mess with Sam.
Yeah,
Sam will kick you, and he'll get stuck in, as opposed to some attacking players who maybe shy away from contact. He invites it.
Cool. Next up now, this is a guy that we've showcased his awkward video, I think on the city Twitter feed. The captain, Trey. How do you say his last name? Benhard.
Trey Benhard. Trey's from Trey's from Lakeville and went to Shattuck St. Mary, so he played in the incredible program that they have there. But
where is that?
I believe it's south of the cities. I've actually never been there, not being from here. But I've heard that it's just a factory of sports.
Yeah,
hockey,
isn't
soccer.
that where Sidney Crosby went for a second? I know he went down near Farmington for a couple of years when he was a baby.
It could be true. I'm sure. Once again, I'm sure Twitter, when they hear this, will tell us.
Yeah, tell us, Twitter. We don't have Google in front of us.
Yeah, sorry, we're
like idiots.
Yeah, way to host the show.
Mm-hmm.
No, but Trey's our captain. Actually, he was our first signing, and when we put this together. The leadership that Trey had. Trey was part of our Internationals Division I affiliate through Stegman's this past summer, and a great guy, hard worker, a solid center back. And if you go to UW Green Bay, which he'll be a junior, he's currently a junior at. If you go to their website and you look up his name, you'll see an incredible video of him talking about why he chose Green Bay and who he thinks he would play him in a movie. And
he does it with charisma.
He does. You can tell some PR lady or PR volunteer student from the athletic department shoved a piece of paper in front of him and told him to memorize and answer these questions. And here, we're gonna in 3 seconds we're gonna turn this camera on and I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna have you give me the answers. But no, Trey's going to be one of the rocks in the back line, and he's going to be the guy who's going to be captaining the squad for the first year of Minneapolis City. So, and he also said that in his wonderful video that Nate and I have mentioned multiple times that if he owned a yacht, he would call it Old Faithful. Perhaps there's a nickname in there.
Wonder why? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, but yeah.
All right.
Yep. Well,
I had a question real quick about that. So he is. Moving into this first season, he is the captain, and how does that decision get made? He was
handed the armband directly from Coach Kicker.
Okay,
so that basically kind of piggybacking off of that he was our first signing, and Trey like Sam had the ability to play with I believe either they played or they trained with last year the Chicago Fire Reserves. and they turned them down to play with us because of the difference in organizational structure and maybe didn't have the best experience there. I don't want to definitely put words in their mouths, but they chose to come play for us, and that was a big thing for us. And Trey having an existing relationship with Coach Kicker kind of led into it. And when Keith had mentioned that that's what he wanted to do, I myself at least, and I know Dan as well, Chairman Hudeman, who you guys heard from last week, had zero objections. Trey's a good dude.
Cool. I was right. Sidney Crosby did go to Shattuck.
Okay. What did you find out where it was?
It's Faribault.
Faribault. All right. They make great blankets in Faribault.
I'm a great sports mind, so I just gotta when I can pull stuff out of the air, it all comes together for me. So the next guy I want to talk about is Emmanuel Ekeshin.
Yeah.
Impossible to spell last name.
So Emmanuel plays at Green Bay with Trey. Mm-hmm. And he's a year younger, but he's a member of St. Croix Soccer Club, where a couple guys that we've signed were teammates on that St. Croix team that won, I believe, 2013 State Cup against against MTA and Shattuck and
St. Croix is a feeder organization for Sporting KC.
Correct.
Yes. So and he goes. So like you said, he goes to Green Bay. Sounds like he's playing more of a substitute role now because he's a little younger.
Yeah, he like I said, he's in his second year there and came more so this past season as a substitute, scoring twice in 5 substitute appearances. So that's not a bad goal scoring record, especially for someone who's coming off of the bench. So
yeah.
He can find the back of the net when given the opportunity. So we hope to give him that opportunity and then have him translate that over next season into banging in more goals for the Phoenix and Green Bay.
Cool. Now speaking of St. Croix kids, we've got Will Kidd. Willie the Kid.
William the Kid.
Yeah, Will. Right.
Yeah.
Give him.
We got Will Kidd, another guy from Minnesota. Listeners out there, I hope you're following the theme here. We've signed homegrown players.
Yep.
Minnesota United just put out a whole bunch of press about how they just signed a homegrown player, but that's just one.
That's one dude.
We got a stable full of Minnesotans.
So Will's from St. Paul, grew up and went to Como Park. Sounds like he lit up the stats.
Yep, he was leading scorer in the conference, I think 3 out of 4 years.
Full disclosure, I work with his mom, so I got to hear about him all the way. I knew about Minneapolis City, and then when Will got signed, she was asking me all about it. I wish I could have had more info for her, but
now you have it.
Yep, now I've got it. So I mean, she's talking me up about him all the time.
Does she wear like his player button?
No,
like the mom button?
No, not that bad. Just covering her desk. Just pictures of Will all over, screensavers.
Well, when you have a player like Will who lit up the stat sheet in high school and then was in the short list for Player of the Year in Minnesota, against some very serious competition, including some guys he's gonna be playing with on City. You got to be proud of your kid, right?
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, with Como Park, they won state champs, right? Mm-hmm. They won the state championship. Yep. Right now, he's going to Bradley. Mm-hmm. So, then they this season finished second in their conference,
which is incredible. I don't know if she mentioned to you about the makeup of the team. It's like 1 senior and like 12 true freshmen and a few sophomores and a couple redshirt freshmen. Like, they have a young squad, so it looks like they're turning over there. Yeah. So that team, if they all stay in 3 years, is going to be dangerous.
And he had, 16 caps this year. He started 9 or 10 of them, so that's pretty solid playing record for a freshman.
Right.
Good opportunities.
Yeah, and he has incredible hairstyles too.
The hair on this team on its own is something to be excited about, because not only does Will have the blonde fro.
Oh, and he had the blonde mohawk, and then he had something else too. Yeah.
But we've got our next guy, Samuel Ruiz Plaza.
This guy.
Will's teammate from St. Croix. This guy's hair, it's like a combination of Kenny Powers and like Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, I'd also maybe throw in like a member of the Cobra Kai.
Yeah, with some Vanilla Ice highlights with the shaves in the sides. I'm really excited for this guy, not only because of his hair, but because he sounds like he's an amazing player.
Samuel is incredible. Samuel, like Nate was saying, he played on that St. Croix State title team. He's from Woodbury, and he plays kind of in his highlights of this past season. Obviously, I don't. He goes to Messiah College. I'm not going to be flying out to Pennsylvania to look at him. So I watched him a little bit online, and I don't know if it's necessarily a true attacking midfield role or he's just box to box because he's got so much energy. So what he can produce on the offensive end, he definitely doubles up on the defensive end by tracking back. But as a freshman, just crushed it, and he is silky smooth in the middle of the field, and he's got great vision and that haircut. Like if you're listening, well, and not even to mention the mustache he had too.
Oh, sick stash.
Yeah, so
delicious flow.
So if you want to treat folks out there listening, Samuel Ruiz, Ruiz, space Plaza, Plaza, and he goes to Messiah College. Check him out. His picture is incredible.
Now another Como Park kid is Taylor Johnson, and I got to see him play a couple weeks ago when I went to that scrimmage with you. He's the senior that we had talked about. Really looking just to gain some good experience and start as be a foundational player.
Right. He a development player for us is interesting because of the fact that we're bringing back a lot of guys that are maybe freshmen, sophomore, juniors in college. Mm-hmm. As you'll see, we don't really have any seniors on here unless we're talking about maybe some of the local guys that are in the trial period right now.
Yep.
But for Taylor, he's afforded the opportunity to gain a lot of experience while he's still in high school. And unlike Chris Riera, who we talked about, that was kind of making that jump, from the trial game perspective, Taylor has the opportunity to train with some of the best players in the state and go into his senior season with semi-professional soccer experience in his back pocket. And it's going to be tough for him to gain minutes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He's going to have to grow, but he's a smart kid and he's good enough, and he's a battler. So I don't see why he wouldn't be able to to get some minutes here and there. But he's now the bedrock of what we're laying down for future years.
Yeah, I think a longer developmental period will benefit him not only, like you said, at high school, but farther down the road when he has the opportunity to get some more minutes and potentially start. Yeah. Minneapolis City.
Who's to say he doesn't move from being the captain of Como Park High School to being the captain of Minneapolis City one day?
Mm-hmm. Cool. Next up, another Blake School graduate. We've talked a lot about guys that are playing midfield roles. Not a lot of defense on the team so far.
Trey, that's all we need. Yep. Old Faithful.
That's all we need.
Old Faithful back there.
We'll see. But we've got Raheem, right? Raheem Omar?
Yeah, Raheem Omar. So Raheem was a highly touted recruit out of high school. He started out at he graduated from Blake, where another one of our players, Duncan is currently at. But he's an outside defender. He signed with Wisconsin out of high school. He didn't appear in any games at Wisconsin, but he's back with the program, and he's been itching to get into the mix, which we hear is his next step. So he's been on the fringes at Wisconsin, but he was definitely a player who was highly recruited out of high school. And I believe he played in the men's league in the summer with the Segments Internationals and scored, I think, like 2 or 3 goals a game when he played from the back. Mm-hmm. So he's pretty good.
Wow.
Incredible speed, lockdown defender, really great on the ball when it comes from an outside defender, which is something that you definitely need when it comes to attacking. So, we're looking forward to getting Raheem into the mix.
So scoring goals from the back line, that's on crosses, that's headers, or is he coming up to join the attack as a defenseman?
He's joining the attack, and I know that from listening to the coaching staff talk, we're going to play more of a pressing style. Okay. So that'll afford him the opportunity to bomb up and down the wings.
That's pretty exciting.
Yep.
Let's talk about two guys that were just signed today, 2 brand new players to the team. First of all, Matthew Guay, and then we've got Abdallah Ba.
Yes.
Two beasts, it sounds like.
Yeah, these guys are a little bit older than what we've brought in from a college perspective. I think what I'd like to start with, though, is that both players live out of state. Matthew goes to Valparaiso, and Abdallah goes to Post University in Pennsylvania. I wonder if he and He and the haircut.
Did they play against each other?
Ruiz Plaza ever played each other. We'll have to find that out. But both of them were out-of-state guys, and their housing was actually donated to the club by an anonymous donor. So
that's pretty amazing.
So there's some stipulations around their, getting free lodging. They have to follow some rules. Mm-hmm. They have to get an internship and work when they're not playing. But their housing and their transportation to and from Minneapolis City is events, practices, and whatnot is taken care of, which is great. It's great.
It's great because it not only gives Minneapolis City a feather in their cap for being able to attract some in-state, some homegrown talent that might live out of state in the future. I mean, that's kind of a cool perk to be able to offer people, but also it gives these guys a better chance to reconnect with the community and to kind of be around again.
Right. It's great. There might be players in the future who are from here, but their whole entire families move away, but they want to come back and play with us because they like Minnesota. And to have someone anonymously, whoever you are out there, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. But having someone anonymously donate to two kids who just want to play some good soccer and do good. Mm-hmm. So, we've already been in talks with trying to find them internships, and I think we may have some options for them. But it's part of the deal, and they're working on it. And they're not just taking a handout, which is great.
That is great.
So let's dive into their playing style. So Matthew Guay is a forward from Apple Valley, and he started out at High Point University in North Carolina, but he transferred to Valparaiso.
And people locally might have seen him at Eastridge. Is that where he went?
I believe it was Eastridge. Yep. But currently he plies his trade in the land of Orville Redenbacher in Valparaiso, Indiana.
That's cool.
And he was the sixth best scorer in the Horizon League last year. And if you boil stats down, he basically scored every 5 shots on goal he took.
Not a bad percentage.
No, not a bad percentage. So we're definitely looking for Matt to fill up the score sheet with, I'd take 6 shots for every goal. I don't know about you. 5 seems a little ambitious, but 6 I'm okay with.
And as far as our second signing today, Abdallah Ba, Post University in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
This is a guy that has dreads.
Yes, and I specifically want to touch on the fact that they're real dreadlocks. They're not stupid Kyle Beckerman dreadlocks.
See, I knew the Beckerman hate would come out eventually. So this guy, midfielder from Osseo, right? Okay, so ends up coming in with these dreads. How many soccer players can you think about that have dreads besides Beckerman? I got like Betafemi Gomez on Swansea.
You really want me to start rattling some?
You know him?
Kobe Jones.
Okay.
Jermaine Jones.
Oh, Jermaine Jones. Yep.
Obafemi Martins.
I was gonna say is Martins because his are short though.
It's the dread.
Oh, I'm thinking like the long, flowy. Jermaine Jones don't really count. Neither does Martins. Anyway, there's a lot of dudes. Okay, I thought there'd be fewer dreads.
There's more
soccer.
dreads than you can think of, but that's not the only thing that Abdallah's got going for him. He also plays in the back, so he's also another guy who can attack out of the back.
So he's a little more defensive mid, a little more center back kind of.
He's very versatile, where he can play both sides of the ball. So if you put him in the back, he's able to be composed on it and not be as rushed as maybe your traditional defender might be to get rid of it.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of taking on a charging attacker and putting a move on him in the back line because he's confident he's gonna be able to pull it off.
Speaking of midfielders that can move to the back line, did you see Kimmich's plays on Saturday for Bayern Munich?
Oh yeah.
The kids' tackles, were insane, especially the one where he pretty much ran a circle around Royce and just got the ball out, just like a little.
That was a great game.
Back heel. And then what's Pep doing coming out and just screaming at him anyway? Hey, Summit Beer. Summit, everybody. Anyway, I thought that was one of the more interesting headlines from this weekend's soccer action, but I digress.
But Abdallah is going to be a great asset that we could use in the midfield as well as in the back line. And I'm sure if you ever needed him to go up top, you'd be willing to not home a few game winners.
So I'm looking at what these 10 signings or so, 9 signings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, and there's some gaps that we're still looking to fill.
Yep, absolutely.
On the field. And that's kind of something that to the casual listener, it may seem almost like overkill that we've got all these tryouts, all these camps, all these scrimmages leading up to picking guys, but we're really trying to find talent on the level that we have here with these 9.
Right. You need to build a team, and it's not just an all-star team. If any of you listening follow NBA, when you had the Chicago Bulls winning all those titles, you really had 2 out of the 5 players who on the court at any given time were superstars. And we're not trying to label the players that we talked about today as superstars. They are great quality soccer players who are going to have bright futures. But
sometimes you need a Steve Kerr.
Yeah, you need a John Paxson hitting the 3 when he's open. Mm-hmm. You need a role player, and you need squad guys. So we've had the open trials for invite only, which was a lot of the college coaches in the area sending players our way. Those are over, and that's kind of what we've used to build our lineups for these training matches we've had. We have the open combine coming, where I believe it's sold out relatively quickly.
That's cool.
And some people have said, what are you trying to get out of the open combine? If you think about it in NFL terms, how many first-round draft picks really make it to have good careers, and how many are busts? And
20%.
20%, and then how many 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round guys?
How many Tom Brady's are you going to find?
How many guys after the 2nd round are you going to find that are Hall of Famers or who are studs in the NFL? That's kind of what we're going through but a soccer perspective. We're not turning anyone away. We're giving them different avenues, and then our last piece will be when guys are back before the season starts, having a college only combine with guys that we didn't even have a chance to even look at or know they were even interested. If anyone's listening out there that is interested, you can always contact us through the podcast email or the general email at the club through our website. The windows of opportunity, though, are closing to more of the structured trials that we're having because of the fact that we do need to build a team and we need to get them ready to play.
Yeah. Well, the more I hear about these guys, the more excited I'm getting to see them on the field. I can't believe it's still 2 months away.
It's warm outside in Minnesota
right now. It feels like it's going
to
happen next week, right? Man. Well, those are that's exciting. And as we hear more about new signings, we'll be sure to cover those here on the podcast first.
Yep, absolutely. So one thing that we definitely want to get to though is membership.
Membership.
What does membership mean?
Exactly. When I joined, I became a member. I was promised a scarf.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much the most important thing for me right now.
Actually, I take that back, Nate. So there's one more important thing as part of your membership. So why don't we just get into what an annual member is?
Yeah, okay.
So those of you who are listening, if you're not already an annual member, $50, only $50, affords you not only the scarf that Nate was talking about that is specific only to owners. So no one can buy it.
Yeah.
It only comes for owners.
Oh, okay.
You get the piece that you're missing, 1 season ticket to all home games this season.
Bam.
Which you forgot. That's important.
I guess it is important to actually go watch.
It's like 1A, 1B. 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
You want to look good and then go to the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're also afforded a lifetime vote on major club matters, including the board elections, as well as lifetime eligibility for board membership. So, folks, each year you pay $50, you get some sweet stuff.
Yep.
And being that I'm on top of the food chain here, I might say that we maybe slice that up a little bit. I'm sure Chairman Hoodeman is just wetting himself as I'm speaking right now. I think that we should talk about maybe discounts in the future. If you buy a 1 season ticket, maybe we entice you to buy multiple seasons in a row, but at a discounted price later on.
I think you're just brainstorming though.
Yeah, I'm just spitballing.
Yeah,
just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it sticks. But that's not all, folks. A lifetime membership.
Oh, yeah, what's this about?
So lifetime membership, you get the things that you get from the annual membership. Mm-hmm. Clearly, you need to go to the game. You get the scarf because you're an owner. But you also get is the inaugural Minneapolis City jersey. You get the kit.
What?
Yeah. For $350, you not only get the inaugural jersey, you get the scarf, only for members, 1 season ticket, priority annual membership ticketing benefits for future seasons, lifetime vote, and lifetime eligibility for the membership board. So not only do you get all this sweet swag for both these memberships, you get the opportunity to have a voice. And because we are the people's team. So if you pay to get in, your voice is going to be heard.
Plus, man, if I have to wear that kit I'm gonna probably. It's gonna be some incentive to maybe trim down a little bit because get a little when you're a little soft. A soccer jersey is not the thing to wear. Around town.
You're gonna need to make sure that guy's a little tighter. But so with that, I think we get into we're done for today. I think we get into what we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about the tryouts and the scrimmages that we were just talking about from an open perspective. Hoping to maybe have some secret guests we're working on.
Yeah, we're working on some guests. Hopefully, we get a couple people to give us their perspective on what's going on with these signings because maybe they're one of them.
Yeah, maybe they're going to be playing with us next year. Maybe they're going to be coaching these players. We don't know yet, but we have some stakes in the proverbial fire as it comes to
irons in the fire.
Steaks, irons.
Steaks sound more delicious.
Iron steaks. Steaks that have iron in them. But no, so we're going to try to bring on some folks next week, and we'll also have an update on merchandise. There's been a lot of people who are asking for scarves that maybe aren't paying for the membership. What those are all about. We have just general club scarves, hats. We're gonna have the kit reveal soon.
I'm pretty fired up for these hats, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
the
wear
hats
the
look
hell
pretty
out
good.
of that hat.
Yeah, and some other merchandise as well. But as always, this podcast is brought to you by Summit. Summit is the official craft beer sponsor of the People's Pitch. They are celebrating their 30th year this year. For more information about the happenings for all those events, please visit summitbrewing.com for all the things that I clearly missed at the end and Nate clearly missed in the beginning. But as always, we leave you with our house band, Go Get 'Em Tiger, with Kicks on a Wire. I am John.
I'm Nate.
And we will talk to you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, next week.
Adios.